So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K, and I am sitting back here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Saadiq. He is not too happy because he is back in the States away from the Dominican Republic where he said he has a plethora of women to choose from for a wife. So yeah, he's back here, but you know what? He'll be all right. Don't worry. So anyway, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. So again, big giant thank you and welcome to Donovan for gracing us with his presence. Also like to say a big giant thank you and welcome to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, the other side of the conversation. If y'all could do us a favor and share this, we greatly appreciate it. Today, when I say we, I mean the audience and Donovan and myself are discussing Rihanna, A$AP Rocky, and Jonathan Majors. There's been a couple of photos surfacing, or I guess making its rounds, I guess I'm trying to say, on the internet within the last couple of days, and I'll put them up here. And it's garnered a lot of discussion about the emasculation of Black men and just everything you could think of. And so I'm really going to be more like a moderator to the discussion. I have my own opinions, but I'll keep them, I always do, to the end. So we're going to be talking about that. Hello, L Boogie. What's going on with you? Rain, how you doing? And Capricorn Black, what's going on with you? So again, we also welcome you all when we give the prompt to do so, to click on the link and join the conversation with us live. The only thing I would ask is at least show me your face before I allow you on the big screen, because y'all know it was kind of wild a couple of weeks ago, and so I want to avoid that. Hello, Jimmy James, how are you doing? Anita, what's going on? So yes, in a minute we'll have you to click on the link. So Donovan, what say you before we get started?
Well, let me tell you something. The therapist needs to give me some kind of thing, because I'm just so depressed. The minute I hit the States, it was just a terrible, terrible thing. But I'm here. I don't have the energy I'm supposed to have that I had when I was in the DR, just enjoying myself, smiling, walking down the street, saying hi to everybody, working on my Espanol, and just being a productive member of society. I get here, and the minute I get back, my neighborhood has graffiti all over it. People are just, the minute the Duke turns his back, like you said earlier, when the cat's away, the mice will play. So now I got to come down and get back into the drama and get it done. So, but I'm happy you guys are here to join us. I did myself see this picture of Rihanna, and I'm not surprised, because when I'm sitting in the DR and I see the continuation of the emasculation of Black men, I mean, it's evident there's an agenda that goes on that, people just want to deny. They want to deny it. And, as men pick up their passports and their money and their resources and go other places, now they have a problem with that. So we're damned if we do, we're damned if we don't. But I'm here to tell you, brothers out there, if you do not have a passport, get one, open your options up. Since they want to divest, you go ahead and divest. And I guarantee you won't want to come back.
Now, see, we was going good until you got with the bull cocker. You brought up the manosphere talking points, but I'm gonna behave, because that's not why we're here today, right now. Yes, Jay's journey. Here we go. So anyway, let me say hello to all that came on, and I'll get right into it. Arson, how are you? You made it on time today. Say, hey guys, I'm actually not super late today. No, you're right on time. Hope you guys had a nice week. Cannot complain, and I hope the same thing for you. Rain, you say, hi, Demetra. Hi, Donovan. Back at you. Black America, how you doing? Says, I think I might have to pull over to tell you what is wrong with the halftime Super Bowl. Woo. All right, well, I'll entertain it. Hey, Brother Reggie, how are you doing? And yes, Jay, he needs a therapist every day. Miss White, how are you doing? And thank you, Marcus, for sharing the link. For those who are on Facebook, if you'd like to join the conversation, tap on the link so I can see your comment over here, and then ultimately tap on the link that I have posted to YouTube, so I can you guys can come on. But when I say not at this moment, all right, so let's see. Dusty Hotel, how you doing? You say yes, paradise is over. Okay. And Jimmy says, nope, I'm done, not going back to the States. Dusty Hotel says, we're down because we're Black men. Nicole, how are you doing? I can't help myself. It's hard for me to control my facial expressions. Yes, it rained. But he came back. You know what I'm saying? He came back. Miss Tawana, how you doing? And Tracy, what's going on with you? Jen Michael, what's up? And he says, my apologies, my what picture? Oh, I'm going to show it to you in just a second. Hello, Mr. Sydney, long time no see. Jay says, Demetra, love your afro, darling. It's definitely a hit. We love it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all for the compliments. It's hard for me to wear it out because I work out a lot and it just hangs. But it's getting longer though. So thank y'all so much. Anyway, okay, let's get into it for the sake of time. Now, put them up here. I took the liberty of putting them together. These pictures have been making its rounds onto internet, okay? Now, let's start with the first one. The first one is that of Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, her, I guess, boyfriend, her beau, and the father of her baby that you see there. She's also expecting another baby. So they are the parents of soon-to-be 2 children. Now, she did this article for British Vogue, and it said they went to her house at 3 a.m. and all of that. And within the article, she calls him Rocky. She talked about Rocky a lot. You know, Rocky being the father, he's a great father. You know, we are best friends that happen to be parents. And Rocky, right? You know, so, but the criticism of this picture is that he is emasculated because he is behind her and she is leading the way. And he is holding on to the baby, I guess, putting him in the role of the mother, per se. Now, I want to say that most of you guys know, and if you don't know, Rihanna is worth almost $2 billion, and he is worth about $20 million. Still, you know, a lot of money between the both of them, right? So, but the article was really about her and the things that she has going on and things like that. And, you know, A$AP Rocky also was in the photo. Now, there's other photos of them together and things like that, but this is the one they chose to put on the cover. All right. Now, moving on to Mr. Jonathan Majors. He is sitting here on a couch, and he is doing, was doing a photo shoot. I guess he's going to be in Creed with Michael B. Jordan. And so I guess he's going on, you know, doing these interviews, you know, like they do when they do movies and stuff. And I guess they're talking about him. And so as you see here, he has this jackets, boa situation, and he has pants that are also boots. And yes, he does have his legs crossed. Now, I will say, in all fairness, Mr. Majors does have big pouty lips right now. I would also go on to say that they are accentuated here a little bit more than they normally are in this photo. But the criticism with this picture is that it's very effeminate and that Hollywood has an agenda to effeminize Black men because, you know, they tend to have Black men doing things like this. Of course, a conversation with Tyler Perry's come in and any other Black man that's worn a dress in Hollywood. And so, of course, there's been a lot of back and forth. You have a lot of people defending both photos too, you know, basically saying Rihanna, the article was about Rihanna, wasn't a dig at A$AP Rocky. The article was about her. And then if you read the article, like I said, she talks about him a lot. And then people are defending this, saying, oh, well, men they need to stop basing their manhood off of clothes because he is married. He's married to a white woman. I just want to put that out there. But he is married, so I don't know what his sexuality is. But a lot of people are saying that men are kind of going too far and it's just clothes. It doesn't really say who he is. And so I want to take this down. If you guys have seen all of that, I'm just telling y'all what I see. I'm not giving my opinion. Let me remove this. And I actually want to put something up just to kind of bring more into the conversation. Let's see here. Give me one moment so I can show y'all this. I should have put together a PowerPoint, but I was kind of lazy. All right, so I'm going to show y'all this. Okay. Now this here, if you can see, it is actually an anime, I guess, show, cartoon. And this guy brought context to it. Says the guy that styled him is an anime fan and styled him as a character from One Piece. So that's the name of the anime cartoon, I guess it is. And it's Doflamingo. He has another name, but I forget it. But so if you notice, it does look very similar to that of Jonathan. So the guy is Asian as well. And so he did style him dressed like that. And you got to admit, it does look very similar. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. All right, so now what I want to do is get Donovan's opinion. Before I'm gonna get to the comments, then I'm gonna get to Donovan's opinion, and then I'm gonna open the link because I'm not gonna say too much on this. I'm gonna open the link and get you guys' opinion. Know that I need to see your face first. When you pop up first, I'll see you. Nobody else will see you. Show me your face. If you're not comfortable being on the screen per se, just show me your face, and then you can, click your camera off. But just a second, let me read these comments really quick because I know Donovan got a lot to say. So anyway. All right. And Marcus says, I think they're making too much out of the photo. I'm a demand. He said he found his soulmate. I think he meant Jonathan said he found the soulmate, and being that she's the biggest star, he's not going to interrupt her shine. That's what I see. Okay, so you're talking about Rihanna and ASAP. Okay. And then Jimmy says, I may go back to the States for Demetra. Okay. And Arson, shut up, Donovan. Arson says, laugh out loud. Oh my God, look at how Donovan seems so demoralized at Demetra K. I love you here. Thank you so much. You're so beautiful as always. I love and appreciate you. And then you say he's a beta. So you're talking about Dusty Hotep. You're talking about ASAP Rocky is a beta. Okay, well, we're going to get into that. And Jimmy says, yep, a beta simp. And Jay says, sorry, but I hate both pictures. Sorry, the undertone is way louder than what the picture is showing. Even if she's getting the bag, he's still the man. Okay. Donovan says, who got him out of trouble overseas? Wasn't any Democrats, it was Trump. And Abdallah, how you doing? You say, yes, hit the like button. Love and appreciate you. He says, I appreciate the both sister and the brother so they can continue to bring us a good content. Thank you. Thank you. And Capricorn, he says, it's not just the photo alone. It's the continued effort to constantly put the black ahead of the black in attempt of a role reversal. So you mean the black woman, the black in front of the black man? Okay. And then El Boogie says, no. And Janelle, how you doing? He said, Jonathan looks like a fruity booty. Damn, a fruit booty. Okay. Capricorn says, and Mavis should not have allowed himself to wear that type of clothing. And I'm going to skip down to somebody who hasn't had a comment. And Brother Reddy says, Ebony photo is mad feminine. Anita says, he looks very feminine. Okay. And Nicholas Hawkins, how you doing? Says he wasn't forced to wear that crap, nor was he forced to pucker his lips. And Aubrey, how you doing? Says ASAP does look a little sensitive on that photo. Well, damn. Who else got something to say? I'm just skipping down so I can give Donovan the floor. And Brother Terry, how you doing? Say sissified. And Sister Jessica, how are you doing? And Jan Michael says, well, no wonder I'm not a reader, subscriber to Vulgar Ebony, but I'm shaking my head. And by the time 103, how you doing? And let's see. So Donovan, go.
Well, again, I'm highly depressed being back in the United States. My therapist knows I'm going to like that. All right, let's be serious here. A lot of people say it's no big deal. It's a picture. It's this, is that. Again, these are people that do not know their history and do not know their past. If you do not know your past, you do not where you're going to be going into the future. History always repeats itself. World War II, the Nazis, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party were very, very strong in their use of propaganda. And that propaganda immaculates in the minds of those that are very weak. How did a nation that is a so-called modern Western nation fall under a spell of one man? Because of the imagery he put out, strong, fearless, smart, all these imageries you put out, it's all propaganda, and propaganda is initiated to the mind. So when we say to people, oh, it's just a picture, it's just this, it's just that. No, that picture is put out specifically to present a certain type of thing within your mind. Okay. So I'm a fairly conservative person. So shit like that ain't going to work on me, but it might work on a lot of you liberals out there. It definitely works on a lot of you liberals out there. So when I get really offended when people say, oh, it's just a picture, whatever, especially when it's put out by these major publications and stuff like that. In the United States, there is a program that is still going on to this very day, and it's called Mockingbird. Mockingbird is a program made by the CIA, which incorporates these news outlets, Fox News, all of them are part of it, where they put out a certain message and the majority of the people fall for it. If you don't believe me, here's a quick example. When you turn on the TV and the president makes a statement, why is it that every news channel puts out the same piece of propaganda that they want you to hear. You never hear the opposition about it. Everybody, oh, Ukraine is so bad. China is so bad. China is this. Where's the other side of that story? Because they don't want you to hear the other side of that story, because they want your brain to formulate an enemy or a certain thing. So that's the problem with that. Again, nobody forced him to do this, and nobody forced him to do that. That just means he bought in to the propaganda that they want to portray. For all you ladies out there, single ladies, single ladies, single ladies, single ladies, put a ring on it, put a ring, whatever that bullshit is, right? Beyonce isn't doing one thing that she's telling you ladies in her songs to do. She isn't doing one thing. Cardi B, she won't even let her daughter listen to the music that she puts out for the masses. All propaganda, all done on an agenda. That's just the bottom line, if you like it or not.
All right now. All right. So I see a lot of people, everybody's agreeing with you. And Double A, how you doing? Says Jay-Z would never take a photo with Beyonce like that. Now I am going to put the link up here, and I want to hear you guys' what you think of this. But I will say this. Y'all know me. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So I want y'all, yes. I'm not giving my opinion. I'm gonna be like a game show host today, okay? I want you all to not only come up here and state your case, because I'm going to ask Donovan. He said some very profound things, and I'm not going to tell y'all right now whether I agree or I don't agree yet. No, and most people know what I feel anyway, but I won't say it at this moment. I'm going to put the link up here really quick, just really quick first, and then I'm going to play devil's advocate with Donovan until somebody else comes up here. So I'm not ignoring you guys. I am reading the comments.
Wait. So you're going to play devil's advocate, but are you eventually going to give us your opinion?
Of course, in my Kamala Harris voice. Are you kidding me? Hold on, I'm just putting it on here. I can't wait. I'm actually excited. This is going to be very interesting. All right. The link is in there. Donovan? Can clothes make you feminine?
No, it's the person that makes the clothes. It's not the clothes that makes you feminine. It's the person that makes the clothes. But if you are a certain person, you're not going to wear certain clothes.
So, all right, y'all, somebody better come on here and save your boy. Better come save me. So we've agreed that clothes can't make you feminine, right? I mean, Correct. They can make you look feminine. Their clothes can make you look feminine. Can they turn you? Sure. Do you think those clothes or any women clothes can turn an alpha man or even a beta male into a woman?
No, and I'll give you a good example of somebody who was androgynous, Prince. Prince was knocking down all kinds of women wearing panties. Remember that album Dirty Mind, where he just had his panties and stuff? As a matter of fact, in 1979, he opened up for the Rolling Stones at the Coliseum, and he had his panties, his guitar, and that little jacket he used to wear, and he got booed off, and they ran him off out of there. But the point is, it's not the clothes that makes the man; it's the man that makes the clothes. So again, clothes cannot make you something that you're not.
Okay, and Piper, can I see your face really quick before I bring you on here? Got you. All right, give me 1 second. All right, so clothes cannot make you, it cannot effeminize you if you're already not, that way as a man, because we hear a lot of argument that what Hollywood has put up there as far as Jonathan Majors, and then even that of A$AP Rocky seem to be following behind Rihanna. If we've just agreed that clothes cannot make you something you're not, can I ask y'all, and maybe Piper, I want to get your opinion. What is the argument? So let me get Donovan, you want to answer that, or you want me to get Piper up here? Okay. So Piper did show me his face. How you doing?
Oh, good. How you doing?
I'm well. What's on your mind, brother?
Okay, I see you had the A$AP Rocky and Rihanna Vogue cover. I guess I just now tuned in, so your question seems to be, you said something about does clothes make what now?
Can clothes make a man turn effeminate, if you will? Can he turn him into a woman?
Can clothes turn a man into a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you got straight males that like to put on women's clothes and make pretty good looking women, if you didn't know it was a man. So that doesn't make them a woman just because they put on clothes, female clothes. He can be feminine because he want to feel feminine for a few hours and go out on the town and, just like a woman and feel feminine, but that doesn't make him a woman. Clothes don't make, I mean, clothes, it depends on your culture. Just like Scottish men wear kilts, that's a dress. Men in the Middle East wear robes. Jesus wore a dress. Judges wear a robe that could be considered a dress. All you got to do is put a mid-waist belt on, and that's a dress. So I think we, as Western society, America, especially Black people, Black men, put a lot of emphasis on behavior that's considered less masculine instead of actually building. And from what I gather, you. Demetra, I guess you're associated with the Nation of Islam.
Uh,
Uh, well,
yeah, sort of. Yeah.
well, see, the Nation of Islam, I guess they have a thing, with the FOI and the women, where they dress a certain way. But clothes, it don't matter. I mean, if a white man can be taken seriously whether he's wearing a blue jeans, a dress, the one act cross dress or whatever, because the men that look like him got power in the world. I've worked in settings where Black doctors were talked down to by less subordinate staff, and they got years of experience on the job. I'm not talking about no intern or no resident doctor just cutting their teeth, getting training. Black men are talked down on by white and Hispanic men. I've seen it with my own eyes because, first of all, they're jealous because Black men are the doctor. But wearing a white robe, speaking of clothing, and a stethoscope around your neck, those men felt that, they're still superior to that Black man. So we as Black people put a lot of emphasis on, especially Black men. I'm going to get on Black men. Always, always talking about what makes a man and what's manly and what's unmanly. White men is running circles around Black men, and this is a Black man saying this. Black men spend a whole lot of time trying to impress women and talking about relationships, and that's Black people in general. We spend more time talking about relationships. Relationships should be the last doggone thing Black men need to be worried about, and they wonder why white women talking about swirling. I mean, be race loyal for what? Right, and I'm not no Uncle Tom type. Trust me, I can't stand Uncle Toms because I've been a victim of Uncle Toms on the job and everything, and a Black man who hated being Black. So I'm not no Uncle Tom type talking like this. My thing is this: Black man worried about the wrong thing. You're worried about what makes a man. What makes a man is building. I want to see some Black doctors get together and buy uh, a old hospital or something that's abandoned, or form some kind of clinic, string of clinics, just like AFC, American Family Care. I haven't seen it with Black men. We rather go sit at the white man's, work at the white man's hospital, and the white man sit at the white man's day, or work for the white man's law firm. But yet we always talking about trying to impress Black women and Black. I mean, Black men can't do nothing for Black women that Black women can't do for themselves. And I'm not no homosexual or no Uncle Tom or nothing like that. Black women got the same job that Black men got. Black women, you have to put Black women on the forefront of the civil rights movement, and prior to that, to get sympathy from the white man to give us rights. If it wasn't for the Black women. Black men, when they had sympathy, oh well, I guess I feel kind of bad knocking this Black man upside the head. He got his women and children out here, so I guess we're gonna have a little sympathy. And then and we all know they love them some Black women in the slavery days, civil rights. I know a lot of older Black women, even during the civil rights movement, they say they got their first house from a white man. All that segregation and all that, they said white man was they loved them some Black women back then, but they was knocking Black men upside the head, you know. But Black women, they said they got houses and brand new houses back during the civil rights era, while white men was talking about segregation today, tomorrow, and forever, and they had all kind of mixed babies. You know, oops baby they had with a Black woman. Where one baby looked like different from everybody else, or if he didn't give her a baby, he gave her a house, a brand new house, or whatever she wanted. Made sure she had money and everything. Look at Strom Thurmond, the oldest one of the oldest white segregationists on Congress that died in the mid 2000s. He come out. He had a biracial daughter in their 70s. She said, "Oh, I didn't come out." They said, "Why you come out? Wait till all this long to come out when he about 100 years old or whatever." She said, "I didn't want to ruin his career." So here's this 70-something-year-old biracial woman who probably lived a life as a Black woman, because she said she didn't want to ruin his career, because he was in his younger days, he belonged to the Ku Klux Klan, but all the time he had him a Black baby. A Black man worried about what they wear, or having swag and all that, trying to impress a black woman, and they wonder why,
Absolutely, Pied Piper.
and they want, and they wonder why black women are swirling. And
No,
they call, if I was a black woman, I would swirl too. Because white men, Asian men, Hispanic men, they build in grocery stores all the way from mom and pop to state of the art restaurants and grocery store. Black men running around having discussions on the internet, on YouTube and Facebook that was built by white
Pied
men.
Piper. let me jump in there a little bit. You ruffling some feathers, but can I ask you a question? Do you listen to Neely Fuller Jr.?
Neely Fuller is a realist. I know Neely Fuller. Neely Fuller says, Neely Fuller says, I am a little boy because I don't have power over white supremacy.
And you know what? Let me say this. Let me say, I can always tell when I'm talking to people who they listen to. And I know I'm surprised nobody has brought in Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. You know that she was actually mentored by Neely Fuller Jr.
I know that was her mentor. Yeah, Neely Fuller said, "I'm a little boy because I'm in a world of racism and white supremacy." He said, "What if a white man, and I'm paraphrasing, wants something done, it'll get done." He said, "White people can have something done to you whenever they want to." His thing is getting rid of white supremacy and replacing it with justice. That's still depending on sympathy from white people. Okay, we got to get rid of white supremacy because it ain't fair and replace it with justice. What if the white man say, hell no, I'm gonna go back there, roll the clock back and knock you upside the head again? What can we do about it? What can black men do about it? We running around talking about how to impress white women, acting like teenage boys, trying to get a woman in the bedroom and thinking about sex and all this kind of stuff, acting like grown teenage boys. And white man is building, Hispanic man is building, Arab man on gas station. Hell, you ought to be getting on your knees, thanking, kissing the ground, thanking black women for being with you, and black women being with you because they on this, oh, I want my kids to look like me if they want kids and all that kind of stuff. White men, all these other men got more power in the world. Brother, Chinese,
brother, you know what? I love and appreciate your insight, and I want to say this to you before I let Black America jump in, because I know Black America by now. I know he got a lot to say, but I want to say this because I want to. He left. I didn't click him off. He clicked off himself. But anyway, I want to say to Pied Piper, thank you for all of your insight. I can, like I said, I can talk to people and know who they're listening to, and I know and if y'all don't know who Neely Fuller Jr. is, shame on yourself, because those are the talking points that Neely Fuller Jr., who is an older gentleman, who basically he's kind of one of the ones that coined white supremacy to what it is. And so somebody's gonna bring up Frances Cress Welsing, and she talks about the feminization of black men. There's a science to it in the ISIS papers. I have it over here. So that's who she studied under. So I kind of want to bring that in because I see some people saying there's no context to what he's saying, but I want somebody to debunk what that brother said. And Black America, Donovan, do you want to jump in before Black America gets in here?
I actually think that the format we have to let the people talk, I already have my talking point. We'll let everybody come in.
Okay, cool. So Black America, what's on your mind?
Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you beautifully, brother.
All right. Good afternoon. Hello, everybody. Hey, Miss D, Donovan. All right, so I'm gonna make it quick. What was wrong with Super Bowl halftime first? I really don't care about Rihanna and the ASAP, the Rocky, whatever they call that kid, or the other little black dude, the Creed movie guy. I don't really care about them. They're doing what they need to do for money. If it was Rihanna and Vogue, that boyfriend or baby daddy, he shouldn't even been on the cover with her. He should have just let her do it. But I wanted to tell you about the Super Bowl because I seen your short about the Super Bowl, and it made me laugh because we as men, for Christmas, Father's Day, holidays, birthdays, we get socks, ties, or a t-shirt. And we don't like it, but that's what we get. And we accept it and we smile, but we freaking hate it. And Rihanna was socks for the Super Bowl. She was socks. Let me tell you something. Men, we wait all year long. If you are a soccer fan, you wait for the World Cup. If you're a football fan, you wait for the Super Bowl. People take off work. People have Super Bowl parties. Donovan mentioned something about World War II, so I'm gonna mention something about World War I. In the First World War, the Germans and the opposing side, when Christmas came, those men took a break from fighting and actually played soccer together against each other. Okay? Men, our lives, everything is wrapped up in competition. And it doesn't always have to be knockdown, drag out, fight competition, but healthy competition is good. Super Bowl is the panacea of all year for football fans. And we got socks. We got socks for the Super Bowl. I mean, it's horrible.
So let me ask you this. What would you have preferred her to do?
Sit her fat, pregnant self at home. She got $1 billion, like you said. She doesn't need the money. Sit her fat, pregnant. Listen, I told you before, and we had a little discrepancy about how you felt about it. Men, we love to see beautiful women. And that's all we want to see. Is we don't want to. I love to see pregnant women too. I done slayed a couple of pregnant girls. Okay. But I don't want to see one on stage performing. It looked like she drunk like 10-40 ounces. Like
Can I
her.
ask you a question? Do you
Yes,
think do women watch the Super Bowl too?
I'm sure they do. Yes.
So I mean, so men and women watch the Super Bowl, right?
I'm going to tell you this.
I have a better question for you. A better question. Who would you have liked to see perform instead of Rihanna?
Hell, as bad as she was, I would have took a rock and roll star. I would have took Marilyn Manson, Megadeth, AC/DC, Sting. I would have took Barry Manilow.
I like all those people.
Dionne Warwick. No.
You know what I mean? What I'm saying is, it was an atrocity for us to have to see. And yes, women do watch the Super Bowl, but I'm not concerned about the women because they are not the main target of football. They never have been.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Who do you think is putting together those Super Bowl parties and stuff?
What do you mean?
You don't think women got a lot to do with that? I know a lot of women that watch the Super Bowl and spend money and go to games and all of that. So I think if we were talking about the 50s, the 60s, maybe the 70s, you might have an argument, but the Super Bowl caters to men and women. I would think, why do you think, let me ask you this, because we're going to deal with a little bit of facts here. If women were not a target audience, why do you think the NFL, every October, what does the NFL do every October?
Breast cancer awareness.
And all of them are running up and down the field wearing what? Pink.
Uh-huh.
So if the women aren't a target audience, then why would they be doing that?
Well, you still have to do certain things for viewership. It's kind of like the WNBA is subsidized by the NBA. If the WNBA was trying to stand on themselves on their own feet, they would fold quickly. Because women, hold on, because women don't patronize these things. Women, you can say whatever you want to say. Women are a small part of who's actually spending the money. My person might put together a Super Bowl party, but guess where the money's coming from? These women ain't spending money out of their own pocket. I'm sorry. These women ain't either buying or renting out plaza and big screen TVs and putting all of this stuff together. They come in, do the decorating, and do some cooking. They're not actually going into their pockets and doing anything.
Okay. I mean, because me and you could be here going round and round forever.
I mean, because I told you, because you're a feminist, and when it comes to man stuff, I'm sorry. Let me work on the car, and I come in and do some dishes when I'm done, so I can clean my hands up real good.
Brother, let me tell you something. Anybody that know me and know me long enough know I am not a feminist, never have, and never will be. Now, let me finish say this because you threw accusation out there. I want to clear up.
It's not an accusation. It's an observation.
It's an observation that is wrong. You might need to put your good glasses on. But I will say this. I am one of those women that do believe that women deserve equality. I would like to see a woman that's doing the same job as a man get paid. That said, Donovan shaking his head. That's just bull caca. But a woman that's doing the same job as a man deserves the same pay. So that don't make me a feminist. That makes me being objective and saying, well, she's doing the same job. Yeah, he should get the same pay. I don't think that makes you a feminist. But again, I want to clarify something. Y'all can click on the link if y'all want. But I want to clarify something to y'all. Y'all men in the manosphere got it messed up. Because I'm just going to toot my own horn, pat my own afro. Problem with y'all is y'all call me a feminist because y'all cannot out-reason me. So when y'all can out-reason me, then y'all have your own legs to stand on. But calling me, because I say one thing about me, I never get on here and call people names as y'all call me names. Y'all call me feminist, you know, a whole host of masculine.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question right quick?
But let me finish. Y'all call me a whole bunch of names. I never call y'all any names, but I'm like, if y'all can't out debate me, just say that. But to say that I'm feminist because I'm asking y'all questions that y'all apparently cannot answer, you know, fight fair. That's all I'm saying.
I've answered every question, D. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Is it legal anywhere in the continental U.S. United States if me and you were working at Burger King doing the same exact job and started at the same time, is it legal for them to pay me more than it is to pay you?
That's probably not, no, but let's come on, brother.
Okay, hold on.
But you asked me a question. I want to give it some context. How much is the woman on average paid per the dollar as a man?
It's something like 82 cents.
72 cents, brother. It's
okay, 72 cents.
So if that, where did that data come from? Did it come out of somebody's ass? Where did that data come from?
No. But you want to qualify it. Let's qualify that men work on average 7 to 8 hours more per week than women. And we're talking about for the lower quality people. We're talking about, you know, upper echelons guys. So yes, every time you add an extra hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on, the amount that a woman is making is going to be significantly lower because men will stay late. We will come in early. We will come in on the weekends. Women are talking about, I need to go to Beyonce. I got to get my hair done. I got to get my nails done. And I need fake eyelashes.
Okay, brother. I'm going to let Be Easy, that dude, come on here. I'm sure he got a lot
is that true or not?
No, it's not. Because wait, because listen, I can listen to a lot of stuff, and Donovan gonna come on and co-sign your nonsense, but y'all buy a lot of nonsense too. And you listen to, I'm speaking for myself. When I was a single woman raising a child, I don't say I was a single mama because her father was instrumental too. I worked 12-hour days too, boo-boo, and there was a whole lot of women up in that plant working 12 hours with me. So what you saying, that's something that I don't know where you got that from, but I'm telling you from what I know and what I saw, women, especially y'all, Donovan, y'all always like to throw those numbers up there. Single black women, y'all single black. Who you think?
I never said that.
But I'm saying
I never said that.
That's the talking points of the manosphere, that all these single households are ran by single black women. Who paying the bills up in there?
I never said that.
On welfare.
Quick comment for me, real quick. Demetra, people are giving an opinion. You keep saying this manosphere. I'm not part of no manosphere. It's an opinion. He's giving an opinion.
Me neither.
So here's what I want to say. You keep talking about equality and women working the same and stuff like that. Men and women, I don't care what you say, D, they are not equal. A man cannot take family leave because he's pregnant. We are not equal. You guys have got it messed up. Totally.
I know you ain't been working around, brother, but the law says that a man can take time off too now. So
but what we're saying is, in a business, women will take more time off in regards because they're pregnant. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. See, that's what I'm saying. You're already going left with it. I never said it was a bad thing that they take the time off. What I'm saying is, we are not equal. We could never be equal. We have two different purposes on the earth. And for some reason, these women out here, oh, we can do anything a man could do. No, you can't. And just like we can't do things that you could do. We're not equal.
That's not what I said.
That ain't what I'm telling you. What you're saying. I'm telling you, we are not equal. We could never be equal.
You see how you did it, Donovan? And listen, what I'm going to do, I'm gonna put y'all feet to the fire. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Donovan's a king of red herrings, because never did I see you like to equate it to different things. I specifically use an example, but here you come with something I did not say. I said, if a woman is doing the same job as a man, she should be paid the same amount of money. I said that
they are. It's the law that they are actually paid the same.
I don't disagree with that.
Hold on, because they can't hear us if we all talking. I want to make sure we get there, and then be easy. We're gonna get to you in a minute. But you just said, Black America, that women are statistically speaking get paid. You said 82, but it's 72 cents on the dollar compared to a man. So how are you coming back now and saying that is equal?
Okay, so it's equal. We are getting the same hourly rate. If you worked in a plant, you would be getting the same hourly rate as all the other textile workers. Because that's fair. But maybe somebody else came and picked up an extra shift. Maybe somebody else, if you're doing 3 12s, maybe somebody else is coming in and doing 4 12s or 5 12s, or doubling back or staying over later because somebody may have called in or missed a shift. You see what I mean? Women don't typically do things like that. Men constantly do things like that.
Okay, women do it too, but let me get Be Easy that dude. What you got to say, brother? What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up? Salute to the panel and y'all for hosting this space. I didn't know that you'd be dropping the StreamYard link. I usually be tuning in to your channel, but this is my first time coming up, so thank you for allowing me to speak. But it's a lot of stuff been said, and I don't want to take too much of the time, but I did hear and I'm just paraphrasing because I couldn't quote exactly, but I heard something alluding to the point that Black men kind of need to stop worrying about masculinity or the image that is being portrayed. And we've been under attack, like our whole identity of what masculinity is. So a lot of Black male individual are not only trying to reclaim their identity, they're trying to recreate an identity because their identity has been propped up by someone that was non-Black, an entity that didn't have the best interest in portraying a positive, strong, masculine image. And to try to make it seem like, oh, Black men are worried about this. I don't know if people know, but Ron DeSantis is going after the don't say gay and all this stuff. Why do you think he's doing that? Because he's saying all of these things are attacks on masculinity. That's what Ron DeSantis is saying. Many Republicans are saying that. They're all non-Black. If you look up China, China won't even show certain imagery. China will not allow people to be in dresses. They will block it from their thing. Those are not Black people. So when people try to say, oh, Black people need to stop worrying about it, it seems like males globally are worried about what masculinity looks like. I know gay people. I've worked with gay people, so I don't have any issues with anyone's sexual orientation and preference. But based on my experience, people that I know, and this is just anecdotal in my observation, but people that are typically effeminate men or gay, they don't usually get in the fields where you're building physical infrastructure, like construction, even security jobs, military. I'm not saying that they're not represented. I'm saying they're underrepresented. And it could be a litany of factors of why they do that. So basically what I'm saying is when we are calling on Black men to protect and to build and provide an infrastructure, typically it's people that are at least revered with some sort of masculine presence, a positive masculine presence. Who gets to define that? So That's kind of my take on that. I don't think that simply wearing certain clothes makes you makes you a female or something like that. But then there's the clothes, and then there's also the mannerisms, right? A guy could put on a dress, but does he have to switch? Does he have to do the duck lips? Does he have to flip his little hair? So now there's just the dress the attire is one part of it, but then the body mannerisms is a whole separate thing. And what I'm saying is, if since it was kind of pointed at black men, if black men are supposed to be building a community and protecting, and since they were compared to other communities, right? Well, why the Asians doing this and the white people doing that? Well, show me the community full of white guys in dresses walking around building things. I'm
Exactly.
not saying there's not a community. Just show it to me.
I mean, there's a lot of, not that I'm, defending them, but there's a lot of white guys that are wearing dresses and things like that. However, I guess we know, statistically speaking, we don't outnumber them. There's more of them. So I guess, and I don't want to give away my opinion just too quickly, and I won't. So I'm gonna wait on that. But so we're all agreeing that clothes do not make you effeminate. But I guess you took, let's see here, just talking ish. I see you. Can I see your face really quick before I bring you on here? All right, cool. I see you. All right, so and I'm gonna mute your mic just for a second, and I'm gonna bring you up here. So it sounds like you took issue to what Piper was saying about black men and beating your chest per se about what people are wearing. But he said that black men aren't builders. They're not building the way you used to. There's a lot of opportunities out there other than crying about somebody trying to make you effeminate, I guess. So is that what you're taking issue with?
No, I don't agree. I mean, don't disagree with the totality of his point. What I was saying was it's a nuanced discussion, and it was devoid of a lot of context. When you start comparing other groups and don't bring in the other context and say, well, they did this, and then don't say, hey, well, they didn't have to go through this. Was that you're talking about the other brother? That in itself is kind of a red herring, because why are you omitting some key and critical elements? And also, when he was talking about black men complaining, and then he was also complaining about black men complaining, but I didn't hear him offer a solution. So how is he any different? I'm not saying that he's not building anything, but did anyone hear what he was building? What was his rant any different than people that get on here and say, hey, you guys are not doing this,
okay,
you guys are not doing that?
Brother. He's not on here, so I'm gonna try to kind of speak up. I think he was bringing in another side of the conversation, in that there's more to black men other than somebody making you gay because of some clothes. And Donovan just admitted, you admitted, and I think Black America would admit that clothes don't make you gay. So I think Piper was basically saying there's other things that black men should be discussing other than y'all don't have no control over Ebony. I don't even think Ebony is owned by black people anymore. Vogue magazine, y'all ain't got no control of that. So I think basically what he was saying is, and he brought up the Nation of Islam. Born into the Nation of Islam, my father's FOI. In this book here, the messenger asked us to do for self. So I hear your argument as far as building and this, that, and the other, but ain't nothing wrong with y'all. Y'all got everything y'all need to do, to build a black community. And so I think all he was saying is, enough of that. Let's get to doing something real that matters, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that part I agree with. It's just I don't think that part that you fully emphasized, I don't think that was adamantly conveyed in the harangue that he gave. But I didn't completely disagree with him. I just thought that he left out some context and nuance, you know what I mean? So I'm not up here to just disagree, because I totally agree. I'm doing my own stuff. I start mentoring youth. I coach people. I started a tutoring program, and this is with no backing or anything. I didn't go to school for this stuff. So I actually am trying to build stuff. I don't get a lot of help, but I do hear, and I'm not saying this was that brother, but I do hear a lot of people say, hey, you guys are complaining. They're essentially complaining about people complaining, and they don't say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing, and hey, you can do this as well, or hey, do you need some help? Because all of these talking points we have heard before. Neely Fuller, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, they've said these things and beyond. So we already know the issues. We don't need people a broken record of the issues. We need a broken record of people showing the proof and telling what they've done and saying, hey, how could I help you expand? And I'll just land right there.
Awesome. I thank you so much for your opinion. Just talking ish. What's on your mind, brother?
Hey, what's up, sister? How you doing, D?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Shout out to everybody on the panel and shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Hit that smash button, man. Support this sister, man. Pretty much, man. I just want to say this because, like, I think this conversation, this rhetoric is, I think, especially with the Black community, I think we take this conversation more serious than any other community. And what I mean by that is that honestly, I think it's more important things going on, but I do understand what people are saying. Like, it's always been the alphabet community has always been homosexuals and gay people here in the society, even back in the 50s and the 60s or whatnot and stuff. The difference is where men are speaking on is about it now is and being vocal about it is because now it's a clear attack on the children, on the kids. And what I mean by that is that every cartoon you turn on, every movie, every series, everything is like they're trying to force it down your throat. Even when you have like Zoom videos, evidence of execs from Disney saying that we're trying to put this ideology in every movie and show that we can as much as possible. So that's when you're talking about men in the community stepping up and being leaders. Well, don't you want your men to step up and say something about the kids or to say something that will protect the kids?
Can I answer that?
Go ahead. Yeah, it's a
because y'all know when y'all see me going like this. I mean, I done wrote something down. All right, so as I always say, yes, and I'm not gonna give my opinion away just yet because I want to listen. Who should be more influential over your child than you? Now hold that thought, okay? And the other thing with stuff on TV, why? And I'm not saying you, I'm saying you in general. Why are y'all allowing y'all children to watch TV unsupervised? And the other thing with Disney, we know that Disney has had subliminal messages since they became Disney, right? Since the days of Mickey Mouse and black and white. So I say that because me and my siblings, we were not allowed to watch TV. Even to this day, as a 51-year-old woman, I don't even really watch that much TV because I wasn't raised on watching TV day in, day out. Like my parents were very into what we were watching. So there were certain things that we could not watch. When my daughter was young, I didn't sit her. Matter of fact, we didn't have a TV for a long time. I didn't sit my daughter in front of the TV unsupervised. I was, watching what she watched. And so I took that stance because I know that there's an agenda from a lot of companies and whatever. I know there's an agenda out there. So you know why they do that to us? Let's deal with some facts. Y'all know who watches the most TV in the United States? It's us. So y'all know why they do a lot of that stuff that's specifically targeted to us, even on some of the radio stations. Right? If you listen to like upscale, like in California, they have this radio station called The Wave, right? It's nice music, and the commercials, they're talking about Mercedes-Benz and eating at spaghettinis and all of that. But on the more urban commercials, they talk about rent a wheel. And, even out here in Houston, girl, I just got hit. But, so they like dig into our lower desires. They don't speak to us as one of the largest consumers in the world, or in the United States. They speak to us like as if we're stupid, right? But they know that because they know we're going to sit in our children in front of the TV. We're going to let them watch the stuff without really paying attention. And Madonna, one of the filthiest women on the planet, she said, I will not allow my children to watch TV or listen to the radio.
Now, my response to that is this.
Sure.
Now, you said you're 51, right? Now, when you were coming up versus the kids that are coming up now, even with me being a 33, about to be 34-year-old black man, the time is different. The technology is different. So yes, I'm watching these shows with my son, and I'm catching it like, hold on, whoa, what's going on here? Like, I'm watching it with them, and it's still not stopping them from putting it in there. And the difference is from the subliminal messages from Disney from the earlier days versus now. Back in the earlier days, they had to hit it with a freeze frame, or they had to really attack your subconscious. Versus now, they'll just put it right in front of you that, hey, little Ashley has 2 dads, or little Susie has 2 moms. So it's right there in front of the kids now. And now, kids are impressionable. They be like, hold up, why do they got 2 dads? I only got 1 dad. What they, and that creates a conversation that you're trying to explain to your 4 or 5-year-old about a man and 2 men loving each other. Like it's a different time, and the technology is different. Let's
Can
be
I ask
honest.
you this,
Like,
brother?
even then, when you were coming up, your parents didn't know everything that were going on.
But can I ask you this, brother?
Go ahead.
Do you have to allow your children to watch TV?
I'm
Is
not.
that
I
not
don't.
something they need to do?
I don't have to allow them to watch TV. You're right, but at the same time, though, it is there, and it's not like with my son. My son knows 3 languages already, like ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and 3 different languages. He only 4 years old. So in that department, I'm not sitting here saying, "Oh, well, you got to keep going hard and burn them out and stuff." No, yeah, you can watch TV. You see us watch TV. You see other kids watch TVs. Like, you can watch TV. My thing is, I agree with you. You got to be there for your kids, because whether you're there or not, they're going to be exposed to it. It's the parents' job to explain it to them and stuff. My thing is, why do we have to have this conversation so early in kindergarten and 1st grade?
Well, I mean, y'all know why. And like I said, I'm holding my opinion. Y'all know why we got to have this conversation. But I'll be honest with y'all. Being born into the Nation of Islam, those are the conversations that I can remember having as long as I can remember having a conversation with my dad. So a lot of stuff wasn't new to me. You know what I mean? As far as sexuality, even to this day, I've never heard the story of the birds and the bees. I heard it the correct way. You know what I mean? When I was a child, I was exposed to a lot of very adult knowledge. I say knowledge because it was things I needed to know at a very young age. And in turn, I did the same thing with my daughter. And so I would never be one of those parents, because we know a lot of that stuff is out there now. I would never be one of those parents to send my child to school green. They would already know that stuff. Tell y'all the story all the time. My daughter went to school St. Patrick's Day, and she says, "Mommy, which one is my leprechaun?" I was like, "I know it's the black one," because I didn't teach my daughter to paint nothing that didn't look like her. So we know that they got the gay agenda and all that out there. Why y'all sending? Not saying you, I'm just saying in general. Why anybody sending their child to school without educating them on what they want? They need to know.
I mean, I understand that, but we're talking about, like, do kindergarten.
Can I answer that?
Sure.
Okay, so I am completely against the alphabet culture. Okay, I don't. I have there'll be no peace. I wake up, I choose violence against it, and it doesn't have anything to do with that. The problem is that if my 5-year-old, now I told you I got kids ranging all the way from 30 all the way down to 5. If my 5-year-old went to school and said, I see a little boy dressed up like a girl, she knows how to interact with that person, but she's not going to use the vernacular I use when I see one of those people. You know what I mean? Because for one, she's a princess, and for 2, she knows that she can't speak the same way that daddy does. So we can't send our kids to school and have them dropping F-bombs because somebody let their little boy wear a tutu to school, or little boys paint their nails and all of this stuff, because some people find it acceptable. Me, I find that to be a very trash person. If I was a Spartan, I would have been done through that baby or that child or the whole family who allowed it over the cliff. It's completely unacceptable. It is destroying the fabric of our community. Like you were saying about watching TV, And he's right. And it's only on the black shows. I mean, I see, because I'm black, I gear more towards black shows. It's always a black man. And you look at all of these HIV commercials, it's always two black men hugging on each other and things like that. It's sickening. It's hurtful, because what they're saying is, to me, all y'all Negroes are gay. You know what I mean? It's like cops in the 90s when they was showing a bunch of white guys without t-shirts on. You know, people were like, oh shoot, all the white people don't have no shoes or shirts in the trailer parks. And then they show all the gangbangers, you know, and digging crack out of their nuts. You know, so it's something that's pushed on people, so that when I would walk by a door, you know, somebody would lock their door because I was a Demetra.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, so hold on a second. And hello, MRM.
So,
oops, there you go. Black America, you back?
Yeah, you can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what happened to you. I don't know if you clicked off, but you're back.
Yeah, so, you know, they're trying to cram it down our children's throat, and it is our job, it is our duty, it is our honor and a privilege to protect our seeds. We must provide and protect, and that is a way of protecting them, is for us to speak out against them. But if we speak out against them, we also get canceled. If you can be canceled.
Yeah, and you know, and I have a theory on that, but I'm gonna just let y'all speak. But all right, MRM, what's going on with you?
Hello, how y'all doing? Shout out to the panel, and shout out to my subscribers who told me to come check out this conversation over here, because they know this is something that I'm hugely passionate about. You guys pretty much said a lot of things that we already know about, but I always do this, and I do a lot of mentoring. It's going to come back down to this. Whenever I deal with kids from the Chicago area to Central Illinois, the first people I go after is not the children. I go to the parent first. I go to the parent. I don't have to ask permission from anybody, any school board, any school, of what they're not going to tell my child or what they're not going to teach my child. I don't have to sit there and say, oh, well, do you guys know? Listen, this stuff right here, my child is not going to be exposed to any of that. The system right now has us thinking that we have to ask permission of what they can teach and not teach our child when it comes to stuff that has nothing to do with math, science, writing, or reading. If there's any type of indoctrination, whether it's dealing with homosexuality, diversity, equity, inclusion, et cetera, if I don't want my child to learn that, I have every right to tell them, do not teach my child that. So when it comes down to it, it's all going to reflect back on you as a parent. I have two sons right now. One is 21. The other one is 19 years old.
Wow, you look good.
Yeah.
That old.
Yeah. And I've been married for coming on 22 years.
All right now.
And my sons, they watched, and I made this comment a second ago. My sons, the reason they don't know anything about, I mean, they know now because they're I call them roommates now. They know now, but as children, my sons, them had no concept of a lot of things that we're discussing right now. Is it because that stuff didn't exist? No, it's because as a father, I kept them from that. I taught them, this is what a man is like. This is what a man is like. This is what a woman is like. This is what a woman like. So guess what that taught them to do in their mind? To only see that. If I keep on pointing out everything that I don't want them to see, that's going to put their focus on that. And that may be something that they only see. And also when it came to, oh man, they putting I know, I get it. They're putting homosexuality in everything. Well, guess what? My sons, them are brought up watching the same exact type of cartoons that I did. They don't know that, oh man, Tom and Jerry, or, some of the old school cartoons, they don't know that, oh, this stuff is way back in your day, Dad, when they were
Three Stooges.
Right. They watch those things like that. And I now, that I have nieces and nephews that are younger, I have to do this same thing with them. I have to say to the parent, hey, y'all can go get these DVDs there at Walmart. You can get like 500 cartoons for $5. Have them watch this. Don't have them watch this new stuff. My sons, the only way they even had, like we say, oh man, but technology has changed. Electronics. Again, me as a father, my job is to protect my family. My sons, the only way they got a cell phone is because they bought them when they got jobs. So I'm not going to say, oh, well, they got phones and they can look it up. They got that. No, mine didn't. My job is to protect them. So now that they're 21 and they're 19, they're able to go out there in the world and differentiate between what is absolutely ridiculously crazy, over the top wokeism versus reality. They live in the world of reality, not in the world of perception.
You know what, brother? You said a word. I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, I just think, and this is like when we hear the conversation about Ron DeSantis, you know, and all these other people wanting to get rid of Black history studies and stuff. And I'm like, first of all, I wouldn't trust none of them to teach my child the truth about them. No way. They're not going to teach it right. And so it's like, as parents, we should be more influential over the things that our children are learning. And I love what you said. When we spend so much time pointing out the negative stuff to our children, then it's like, okay, you're not spending the time teaching them the stuff that they should know, right? And like, if God forbid your child is in a situation, they learn something or hear something at school, did you equip them with the knowledge to say, at least say, wait a minute now, that ain't what I've been taught. There's something wrong with, you know what I'm saying? So we need to stop sending our children to school blindly and, you know, sending them off and saying, okay, well, they're going to spend 8 to 10 hours at school and I'm going to allow, you know, this white woman teacher to teach them, you know, give them knowledge of self and everything else they need. No, that's supposed to come from home.
Yes, I mean, it's like my sons were taught to question the teachers. If the teacher said, I taught them, if your teachers, you know, look what they did. How do we learn, you know, math? You know, how do we learn that? You know, for one, I mean, honestly, me and my wife, we taught our kids at school. I mean, they try to push in things in Florida called Common Core, all that dumb nonsense. I still tell my sons, no, just put this up here like this, and that's how you can get your answer. Okay, well, we're going to do it for school's sake when it comes to math, but this is how you really do it. So what I'm saying that for is that we had to have hardcore examples. We had to show, you remember, I don't know if you guys were in school during the time where they gave you bundles, like you had a bundle of 5 sticks and another bundle, and you learn to count by 5, 10, 15, 20. But at the same time, you also learn to count sticks individually. So you get to sit there and put that into practice and say, oh, these 5 sticks right here and these 5 sticks, when I add them all together, it does equal 10. So that right there is factual. But a lot of stuff they're trying to bring into here that has nothing to do with the basic education, I teach my sons them to question that. So if the teacher comes in there and say, oh yeah, you know, I know that we know that Johnny is a boy, but he think that he is but prove it. How? You're not just going to be able to tell them that. My sons got in trouble for asking too many questions, and I loved it. And the teacher was frustrated because she couldn't answer it. She couldn't give them an answer. You're not just going to indoctrinate them and expect them to go out and regurgitate what you taught them without actually giving them legit evidence of what you're saying as being true or factual. You're not going to do that.
Now, I agree with everything y'all both just said right there. I'm not disagreeing with that or anything like that. But if I'm saying here, my point is this. If we as a community can agree that seeing Black people on TV being dumb, as gangbangers, as pimps, as Jezebels, if we can agree that the video vixen and those images are bad, and then when the Black man says, hey, this image right here is also bad and detrimental, oh no, it's cool, this, that, and the third, like we're being cool and compliant with it and stuff, like, no, that's hypocritical right there. That's all I'm saying. I'm not harping on it or anything like that, and I'm not going to sit here and let no school or no TV or anything raise my kids. But at the same time, if we're going to sit here and point at the girls in the back that ass video up and say, hey, baby girl, I don't want you to be doing this. You my princess. We should also be able to point at Saucy Santana and be like, hey, bro, you ain't get down like that, my dude. Straight up. Like that's the disconnect. That's where we have this gender men versus women thing. No, it should be unity. If we cool, then we can sit here and say, hey, well, with some of these girls that we up here praising them to do and stuff for the Cardi B's and everything, we don't want our kids like that. And everybody be like, I agree. We agree. I don't want my daughter to be a Lori Harvey. But then when someone says that about the alphabet community, like, hey, I don't want my son seeing that, want to be like that. Oh man, you don't need to be thinking like that, brother. You gotta be more progressive. You gotta be this, that, and the third and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. I'm getting that from my same people. Like, well, you know, why they doing this? Why they watching that? Why this, that, and the third? It don't matter how they seen it. If I bring it up and say that's wrong, I shouldn't be getting no press back or no. Well, it should be on you to just have. I'm doing my job now as a parent. Like, hey, Nick, hey, bro, that's not right.
Bro, I totally hear you. And like, again, as a father, y'all, because I didn't have one and how I had to grow up here in Chicago, I as a father was very protective of my children. I don't give a good goddamn gonna care what anybody has to say or think about how I'm raising my son and how I'm going to push him out there in the world. They have come from me. I'm a doctor. Okay. I'm in medicine. They tried to come from my license. Did it work? Absolutely not. The only place these people have this protection at is on the internet and in social media. In the real world, this stuff does not fly. That's why they have to put it in media. They want us to believe and think that it's everywhere. And it's not. It's only everywhere on these YouTube and social media streets. Those people that get on here so boldly want to be, I can be without wanting, and nobody, they only have that on the internet. Out there in the real world, in the real workplace, people still frown on that nonsense. I'm telling you, man, that and that's what I'm saying. That's why I teach this thing saying perception can become greater than reality. All they want us to do is perceive that this stuff is here and that this stuff is everywhere. But the reality is it's not. People are still disgusted by it. They are still disgusted by it. Majority of Americans don't agree to it. If we did, you would see that that's why their population of those particular individuals is still less than 1% or at 1%. If everybody was so on board with it, why are people still choosing to be heterosexual? If people are still on board with it, why they got to make their voices heard? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? If you are of that lifestyle, why do you have to let it be known to everybody else that you're of that lifestyle? Why do you need us to validate you? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's only here. When we hear about things like this, and like folks have come from me when they say, okay, because what you said on here, I'm gonna find out where you work, I'm gonna go and cancel you, blah, 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 blah. Reality is no. People that only get canceled are people that actually have jobs by those particular type of organizations that's all about that nonsense wokeism. But in the real world, no.
And that's what I always say too. I say this a lot on here. The internet is not real. You know, we take a lot of stuff from the internet and we try to apply it to real life because, like you said, when I'm out in public, I don't see that as much at all. I see mostly heterosexual people. But like you said, on these platforms and things like that is so polarized and blown up to where we running around just like, you know, you hear the manosphere and the divestors. That, you know, you would think that black women and black men really don't like each other, but it's like outside of the internet, we know that ain't true. We all know black people who are in relationships with you, like you said, you've been with your wife, you know, over 21 years. So there's a lot of black people who like each other, but on the internet, it's like we give it life, and it's I always say not real.
Right. And
could I
just?
Ahead, sorry. I just want to add one thing, because I do agree with everything that y'all saying. Just in certain places, they are trying to normalize it and make it real. Excuse me. For instance, I'm in California, and they passed, or they're working on a bill to where if a kid is, you know, of age, you know, 5 years old and wants to change their gender, they made a system where they can circumvent the parent because they want to give the kid like its space and freedom and treat them like a civil person. So they're saying that they're trying to have like a special like doctor or someone that talks to the kid to help them figure out what gender they want to be, if they want to be non-binary. And another thing also, and this is in the real world too, I'm not saying it's everywhere around the country, but there's a lot of stuff a lot of people are pushing in like Cali, New York, and other places. And then the other thing is people's pronouns. So if someone says, hey, I'm a girl now, or I'm a guy now, and they call it something like dead naming or something, misgendering, if you call them a him or a her, they could try to like do like a civil lawsuit against you, you know, nothing like criminal, but especially in the workplace, it could be a lawsuit against the company, etc. I just want to add that in there. They're trying to normalize that around many parts of the country.
Now, okay, I hear you on that, and this is perfect for me, to especially being in medicine. Now, here's the reality of that. See, when I get a patient's record, if it says on there, hey, Ty, this person right here, he prefers to be called Tanya, but no matter what, because the fact that, especially when I did orthopedic surgery, if I got to sit there and operate on you, it's still going to say I have a 46-year-old man who goes by the name Tanya. Is still a man, because in medicine, there's certain things that we have to do, is certain medicines that we have to give out based on your anatomy. Testosterone, progesterone, or estrogen. We have to treat you based off your body size, whether you're a male or a female. But here's the thing. I'm going to tell y'all this, and this is what I mean. I don't get in trouble for this because they don't push this out enough because they don't want the truth to get out there. When you talk about these studies and these things that they're doing in California, like gender reaffirming with these kids, letting them make that decision, do y'all know what the real deal behind all of this is? It is about money. Let me tell y'all this. In medicine, if we can push it through legislation, if we can push it through AMA to get something diagnosed and we can truly diagnose it as a medical condition, then we can treat it with medicine. And if we can treat it with medicine, that's nothing more than a bunch of billions of dollars that's getting ready to come to the medical organization. It has nothing to do with the realization, oh, they really are having this issue. No, we don't care. All we know is that if your son thinks he's a girl and they want to get that gender reassignment, oh, here go already $700,000 for surgery. And then we about to have a lifelong patient for the rest of his life to treat him with hormones, to also treat him with the things that he have to, because y'all, it's crazy what they do. But all it comes down to is money, like obesity. If we can diagnose, if now obesity is not like an eating condition no more, it's a mental condition. So if we can diagnose it as a condition and a medical issue, we can treat it with medicine, which means we're gonna have more money coming in. It's all about money. It's not about that patient. Our job that when we swore the oath was to do no harm, and now they're allowing this stuff to get put into there, and that's exactly, we're doing the opposite of what we swore to do to patients, and that's to do no harm. When they're doing these things like that, you are messing these kids up. What they don't look, and I'm gonna shut up after this. I'm just so passionate about this. Yes, because being in medicine, you get to see a bunch of different avenues of different things that people do. There are individuals that are out there. We got this thing psychologically goes on. You can praise somebody for doing something wrong, right? But as long as they're getting a positive feedback loop, they're gonna feel like it's okay. Mm-hmm. So, example, my nephew, when he was little, everybody used to sit there and laugh at it and encourage him because he used to say to people, "Patu bits." And that's his way of saying FUB. And they all said to him, here, Patu bis. And everybody laughed about it. They all said to him. He goes to school. He goes to say to different people, Patu bit. He gets in trouble. Now, it might sound funny, but it's not. Look, when he got in trouble, his parents spanked him. And while they were spanking him, he started going, Patu bit. And he couldn't figure out, like, why am I getting pain when everybody else was encouraging it? So now I'm getting pain right now. And the reason why I'm saying it is this. People are encouraging families, they're encouraging these young kids, they're encouraging people, let your child, if you think he's a girl, let him do this, let him do that, let him get gender reassignment. But what they're not telling you is that once they get that gender reassignment, the things they have to do to keep themselves like that is ridiculous. And YouTube and social media is suppressing that. These people are coming out, they're deleting themselves at astronomical levels because they know that nature is fighting against what they did. They have to constantly keep putting a glorified dildo up themselves because it's trying to close. You want to know why? Because the body knows that that's not a legit vajayjay. The body knows that's a wound. And now that your penis is gone and you got a hole there, the body is trying to close it up. But then yet they got to keep on putting the fake dildo up themselves for years so it won't close up, to have a fake vagina. And now it messes with them psychologically, and they know they would never be normal. So they're deleting themselves at alarming levels. And when they try to come out and speak against that on YouTube, YouTube shuts it down. They do not want everybody to see that part of it.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate thing. And I know, and brother, what is your information? Everybody's like, what's his information?
My channel is called Modern Renaissance, man. I do a lot of stuff. It's a variety channel. I do comedy. I do medical advice that I am able to give out. I just do a lot of stuff on the channel. I show people, especially young men, I'm on there working, like I do a lot of stuff. I just do a lot. I'm a musician. I'm a minister. I show people, if you want to learn how to change your brakes, here it is right here. Anything that I can do on my own, I do it and I show others. But I love my people. I love my community. And I just don't want us to be deceived by any of these things that they're doing because they're coming at us hard. Seriously.
I know that's right. So Modern Renaissance Man.
Yes.
That's it. So y'all, did y'all get that Modern Renaissance Man on YouTube? And that's your podcast as well?
Yeah, podcast. It's a variety channel. Y'all gonna be like, okay, this dude was spitting knowledge, but then we go on this channel. He a little crazy. I do a lot of.
Got a gumbo channel, a little bit of everything.
I know that's right.
I know I'm cooking. I'm showing you how to do things in your house. This is stuff that I've been taught coming up in the after school program, you know. But
yes, and I will go over and subscribe as soon as we are done here. I love and appreciate your insight. Brother Don, what's going on with you? What say you?
Well, I got to go from the top down.
We gonna be here a minute.
Grab your Snickers.
People, not only our people, but people in general are being played. If we go from the bottom up, we started with the academy, and then the focus went hard into transgenderism. And the reason why it's going so hard in transgenderism is the powers that ought not be are pushing this agenda. The next phase in trans is transhumanism. Y'all get ready for that. That's what they're looking at, transhumanism. And then the third and final is trans species. If you think I'm playing, just watch. They have an agenda. The stuff you're seeing, that's called predictive programming. What you're seeing is predictive programming. And all of us that are of our age, I'm 58. So we didn't see this kind of stuff coming up as kids. But as we became teenagers and young adults, we started to notice them pushing this agenda. Then when I became a man, of childbearing ages, you see the offsprings of your peers becoming academy members. And now this generation, they're being hit with the transgender. The objective is the children because they know they can't get us. We're already done. We're set in our ways. They're going after our children. Did any of you guys see that series Childhood Ends? It's a trip because they show you what the program is at the end of the show. End of the show. Yeah, if you guys ever seen the Baphomet statue, they just put one up. They just put one up. That is the agenda. It's all right there.
So you bring up the Baphomet. Are you saying going along with like the Illuminati theory?
No, the Baphomet is trans species.
Okay, so
and he's got the two children. He's got the two children, a little black boy and a little white girl, by his side. That's who Satan comes after, the children.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so this is the agenda. He wants to make something. He wants to be God, and so he wants to turn us to something other than what we were made to be. And I'm gonna land right there.
All right, brother. You had me worried for a minute. I was like, "Ooh, let me go and get me some coffee." But you know I love you. Thank you so much for your insight. And so the link is in there if y'all want to come up and anybody else want to come up and render your opinion. But we have a great panel on here. Anybody else want to add something? Donovan, you've been up there really quiet, which is unusual.
No, it's good to see that there's other brothers like myself out there that are multitasketed and multifaceted with knowledge and all that other good stuff. So it isn't a lost cause out there. I mean, again, when we talk about propaganda and we talk about these things, propaganda is not only used against our children. What do you think is being used against the black man and the black woman to make us go to war with each other? That is propaganda in itself. And if you do not recognize that, you are going to head for a fall. Again, you got guys in the manosphere that are being disrespectful to women, but you also have women that are disrespectful to men. And then the war pretends and everybody's pointing fingers at each other. And what gets done? Absolutely nothing. So when we get out here and we start really critically thinking about how strong propaganda is. Every war. How many of you guys remember? Demetra doesn't remember because she wasn't born yet. The Gulf War, the first Gulf War. And I reference everything to the military because you guys know I'm a military guy. But notice at one time, Saddam Hussein, we were funding him when he was fighting the Iranians. He was our best buddy. We helped build his army and everything. And as we built up to go to war against this man, we made him as bad as Adolf Hitler. That's how strong propaganda is. And when our brothers, who are supposed to be men and leaders, start pointing out to the sisters, leading the sisters, saying, look, baby, you're falling into the propaganda. I think what is going on within our community would get better. But propaganda is so strong and it works so strong on people that they don't see it. They just see what they want to see because they have their own individual agenda. So, I mean, I'm just glad that a lot of people out there are waking up. And again, it's like Rick James said, cocaine is one hell of a drug. Propaganda is one hell of a drug.
I mean, yeah, you're right about that too. But I think the women, the sisters, they are waking up to it, because now you seeing this like this like divide between the women and the trans, because the women don't like being called a cis woman and stuff. You feel me? So you seeing that, you feel me? And they kind of you seeing the videos, the women coming around saying, "Hey, some of y'all niggas was right, bro. Like, hey, we was led astray. We was, hoodwinked. You feel me? Like, so they been bamboozled, but they coming to the light and stuff. You feel me? But like, we just gotta come together and be like, we just gotta have the best interest for the kids, because especially in this community, everybody has unique ways of coming up. Like, some people came up with both their parents, some people came up with just their mom, some people came up with just their dad, some people came without their parents and came up through the system. So we got to come together and decide, like, hey, this is how we got to lead our kids, because everybody has different upbringings, different opinions. That's where the real disconnect really lies at, when you have these unsuccessful relationships, and now these women and men have to co-parent and stuff, because they coming from different households, different backgrounds and stuff. So they want the same thing. They want the end goal for their child to be successful, happy, and productive in society, but they don't know about, they think their steps are better because what they seen growing up, and they don't want to see this happen. So, they prioritize different values and stuff like that. You feel me? So as a whole, as a community, yes, we got to come together. And I mean, honestly, it's still going on in the social media. Like you said, like the brother MRM said, you don't see it too much out in the real world, but you're seeing it on social media. But we also got to remember that this is a generation that's literally being grown up off of social media. These kids know how to use these devices.
Let me say this, and again, my daughter is 30, so they didn't have all of that when she was, a child. But I always say this: shame on any parent that gives your child a phone and then they have access to the internet. If you don't need to call me for a ride to see what different generation. My mama said, be in the front of the school if she ever picked me up, because we walk mostly at 3:00. You was there at 3:00. Now, I would not have my child on the internet with all these apps and stuff. So again, just because they have those things, I'm not saying you just talking ish, but just because they have those things available, don't mean you have to give those to your child. I mean, I always ask this question: would you allow your child to go into a dark alley by itself at night? And you say no. Well, it's the same thing with the internet. You don't know who the hell your child is talking to or what they're seeing on the internet. But a lot of parents just give their child a tablet or the phone, and you don't know what they're doing. So
a lot of these parents who give them the devices, they're not even hip on the technology like that. They coming to the kids to get help from the technology and stuff. So
why would you allow your
then we gotta
child?
also go to this right here too. As the parents and as the adult of the older generation, we gotta take the accountability to learn this technology. We just can't say, oh, hosh posh and keep it away from the kids. And then when the kids get to high school and get to college, and they look around like, dang, how come this Asian knows so much about technology? Or how come this white boy knows so much about the internet and stuff? Because that's the same mentality they used with us with guns.
Let me get it here. Then I'm going to give it to Be Easy. You didn't speak, and then I'm going to give it back to MRM. Y'all know what China their stance is on TikTok, don't you? I know y'all have heard that. They don't allow their children to scroll and watch the stuff our children watch. They're like learning stuff, but they give our children the low-hanging fruit. So again, if you as a parent, you don't know that, why is your child on TikTok? Be easy, whether you say.
Yes, a lot of a lot of parents are being derelict in their duties when it comes to that. And I say delusion is a hell of a drug, to think that you can just let a device, tablet, TV show raise your kids and there won't be any social ramifications. And just because people may not see it right in his face, these things, they've had time, technology, think tanks, brilliant minds, billions of dollars to refine this. You know what I mean? So this is a well-oiled machine that people are going against, and they have stuff where right now they're trying to normalize everything that we came up and it was just commonplace. We call people chomos, some people know what that means, and people would say pedos. Now they're saying those are slurs. You can't say that. You'll get canceled for that. You know what they're trying to replace it, and no one has to take my word. Look it up. MAP, minor attracted person. That's what they're saying. Don't call them pedos. And like MRM was saying, they're trying to make it a social condition so it's more money. So they're saying, hey, just like this person was born homosexual, he was just born a minor attracted person. Don't be mad. And just like someone could say, hey, I'm a man, but now I identify as a woman. They're pushing that, hey, I'm 30 years old, 50 years old, but now I identify as a kid. So am I really, I identify as a kid. If this person could identify as a woman, you're infringing on my rights to identify as a unicorn or a 6-year-old that likes other 6-year-olds. That's where we're going. And that's why I say delusion is a hell of a drug.
And I hear what you're saying. And you know what? I'm going to just keep it real. And I don't even have to say this to y'all. Ain't nothing we can do about it. The only thing you can do about it is arm your own children. I'm gonna keep it real with you. My daughter, she's 30, but when she was younger, she ain't never gonna be in the presence of a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? She would never, as much as I could help it, that would never be something that she would have to worry about. You know what I mean? And so y'all think those people are just now coming about? Those people have been around forever. Mm-hmm. But we're, like you said, with the internet, we're hearing about those people now, but it's like, as parents, we still got to do our due diligence because we know we're stupid to think those people don't exist. They've existed since the planet has been here. So, MRN, what say you?
First, yeah, absolutely, 100%. I know y'all gonna hear me say it over and over again because I really wanted to be in people's head. I never looked to my wife or anything like that for me to be a father, be protective over my kids. If something was not to be seen or be done in my house, it's 100% not going to be done there. I don't care. There was a time where, you went through agency. I'm different. I didn't have the notion that people said I was going to have in my children. I didn't have the terrible twos. I broke that behavior. I didn't have the furious fives. I broke that deal. Well, wait till they become teenagers. What? Right now, one sitting right there. If I say go take the garbage out, I'm not asking you to do it. I'm telling you to do it. I'm a parent. I'm not my kid's friend, nor do I care to be their friends. I'm not there so they can like me per se. I'm there to raise some people to be some law-abiding good citizens out there in this world. Now, as far as the technology and things go, what you guys mentioned earlier about China, y'all know that China won't even let no feminine commercials or anything like that be played in their country. They won't even allow men to even be. If you are feminine, you're going to be how it used to be in America. You're going to be in the closet and nobody know about it. If they see it, China's terrible. They're beating and killing ones that are like that. Why is that? Why would China be so against that, but yet at the same time, China will push it over here in America due to TikTok? And the biggest thing that's trending on TikTok is for people to be of the alphabet community, because they know if we can weaken men, we can take over a nation. All you got to do is get the men to be weak. That's why even in the black community, you won't find more. I mean, can y'all besides Mrs. Doubtfire, can y'all name any other white movies where the lead role was a white man dressed in drag and all that? But if I said name some black ones, y'all be like, oh, Big Mama's House, Medea. Oh, who else?
You remember Tootsie? Dustin Hoffman? Tootsie?
Didn't Norbit have a black
Rasputia? Eddie Murphy was Rasputia.
I'm gonna date myself here, but the world according to Garp. Y'all remember that? That's
John Lithgow. John Lithgow. Yeah.
Woo.
But I gotta check that one out.
What do you think happened to Greece? Exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you can sit there and effeminize men and have men become weak, that's why they want men to be all in their emotions right now. That's why they're trying to come against saying that if a man is even showing any type of masculinity, it's toxic masculinity. and all that. That's why they say, you know, things like, oh, push women to be equal to men when it comes to certain aspects and da 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 da. They creating problems that were never there, y'all.
They call everyone a misogynist and transphobic,
misogynistic, egotistic, xenophobic, toxic masculine, all that nonsense.
anti-Semitic.
Yes, and all when it all, and the thing is that when it all comes down to it, in the end, again, guys, it's there to destroy. That's all it's there. It's there to simply destroy. That's it. Because okay, I heard you guys talking about you know, I heard you guys talking about equality and all that stuff in the medical field. If a woman comes out of school being a doctor and a man comes to school, they're making the same amount of money. I don't care what they tell. Now I direct right now. When I hire somebody on and I say, hey, this is what I offer as a pay, I'm just keeping it real. Women are more agreeable. Oh, okay. Some men go, oh, well, hey, well, I was hoping that I can get this much. And then, okay, well, we'll talk about it. The reason why I'm saying it is this. They getting equal pay, but some negotiate and some don't. As far as work goes and certain disciplines, like certain jobs, is never going to be equal. You're fighting for something that is not going to change at all, because there are certain things that men do that women simply can't. There's some things that women do that men can't. Now, certain jobs, firemen, policemen, military, this is just my opinion. I feel that they shouldn't be in there. And it's not just because we all can see that there's a definitely distinct separation between men and women on the physical level. But in order for those women to get into those jobs, they had to lower the standard in order for them to even get in there. So the example that I'm going to give you guys is what we said on this panel, but not on this panel, but another panel. Men are sitting here playing football, a pickup game in the street, and a girl wants to play. Because in our head, we like, no, you can't play because this is a little too rough. We know we can hurt you. But then you got the mama who gonna come and disrupt it. Y'all better let my daughter play because she want to play. And then we all, oh man, God. So guess what we had to do? And y'all better not hurt her either. So guess what we had to do we had to lower our aggression. We had to lower how fast we ran. We had to lower all this stuff just so we can let her play. So now I'm not saying in all jobs, but I'm talking about those specific ones. And what they don't let you know is they encourage women to get into these things. And like I told you earlier, remember I said it's created there to destroy them, because guess what ends up happening? You will not be able to procreate. Most women that get into those job fields, they put so much stress and strain on their body. They end up developing ovarian cysts. They end up inflamed fallopian tubes, inflamed uteruses, and it ends up producing so much testosterone in their body, and then it lowers their estrogen levels. It throws their hormone balance off, and then a lot of those women become barren. Now they can't have kids. So if they did have a husband or was thinking about having a family, now they can't. And I'm gonna speak to this other thing too. You guys mentioned about them coming for the kids. We call them predators. I will always call them predators. In the wild, animals that are considered to be predators, who do they go for first? They always go for the kids first of prey. They always go for the newborn. They go for the kids. And if they can't have none of those, they're going to get the weak and they're going to get the sick. But they never go for the ones that are strong because that's too hard to get them. So that's exactly what they're doing right now. That's why I say as a parent, especially fathers, you have to 100% protect your kids. I don't care what my sons were doing. If they were in the room, I'd go picking, what you doing? Oh, I'm just playing my toys. Oh, okay. I'll come back 10 minutes. Like, what you doing? Because I'm just making sure nothing is about to enter in there at all that's coming from this world system that's going to pretty much penetrate their mind and try to formulate them to have an ideology that's completely against what my kingdom in this house is.
And see, that with the whole China thing, when you was asking with the TikTok and stuff, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. With China, the algorithm don't like uplift stupidity or ratchet behavior. It uplifts like intellect, like inventions and engineering and stuff like that. Versus in our society, our TikTok algorithm is doing the whole dance, the new challenges, all this, that, and the third and stuff. So like I said, it goes back to society. What society rewards or what society upholds or deem with positive reinforcement, that's what the kids are going to do. Like you were saying with your nephew going to school and saying F you bitch, and then he's confused because he like, before when I was doing this, everybody was clapping for me and cheering me on, and now I'm doing it. It's a problem and stuff. But what I'm saying is that also we got to also talk about this too when it comes in context with China. Now China also got them strict regulations on how many kids you can have. You feel me? Like they have other problems, like that's more rampant, like sex trafficking, and it's that everywhere got those problems. You feel me? But we seem to reward our lower vibration behavior versus do we do intellect behavior and stuff. So it's still out there. It still exists. It's still, like you said, people think it exists because they just see it on the internet. But you go out in the real world, you do see black fathers out there. You do see black kids out here, inventing stuff and doing intellectual things. Not all of them out here trying to be the next Young Thug or the next Cardi B or anything like that. It's what the society wants to put out there and stuff. And that's all I was saying is that we caught on to it into the 70s, where we were seeing these movies of pimps and Foxy, Cleopatra, all that stuff. And then by the 80s and 90s, we were seeing here labeling that's black exploitation. Hey man, well, we need to get away from that image. So right now it's like right now we in the 70s, how we like, hey, we ain't got no representation, blah blah blah, we gotta take what we can get and stuff. Eventually moving forward, we're gonna get to that point where the whole society, especially our community, gonna get on the program like, hey man, this is really detrimental to our community and we need to stop this. So
yeah, just think if it keeps getting that positive reinforcement. You know what I mean? We praise. I mean, come on, let's be real. I mean, Joe Biden, of all the black intellectuals that's out there in the world, he picks Cardi B to speak to. You see what I'm saying? Look who we're picking. And I don't know if y'all seen the video about trying to get black people to vote. It was called No Voting, No Vucking.
Yeah, that BS.
Man,
but we're picking up on it now.
So yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So look what this is the equivalence of what they think that we're of. In order to get black people let's give them some booty shaking, some pole dancing, some twerking, some gay men, some long eyelashes, because that's what black people are. So I'm saying, so inadvertently, that's like some racist stuff right there, plain and simple, because they like, this is what these ninjas want right here, right? So again,
super racist. Jim Clyburn with his fish fry.
Right. To anybody right now, if they are new parents right now, my advice would be to them, your child does not need any electronics. When my sons were younger, if they said, Dad, I need to use a computer for what? Oh, because I want to play a game. Nope. There was no, but shut up. I said no. Now say something again. There's no negotiation. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm there to protect their mind. So as far as like electronics, now like Nintendo, PlayStation, because that's all you can do is play the game. You won't be able to have the temptation of some little ad that popped up. Bloop, bloop, click this, and all of a sudden you date all kinds of stuff they're into. So as a parent, no, you don't. Your child does not have to have an iPad. They don't have to have a cell phone. Y'all remember what books are? You remember what libraries are? You know what I'm saying? Education and intellectual, and the fact that you can sit there and have critical thinking is going to come from the home. You can take your child to a library, pick up books, have them read. If they're not exposed to that stuff, they won't desire it. You know what I'm trying to say? So if it's not there, they can't take stuff away from kids and watch how creative they can be. I know how to play 5 different instruments. My sons know how to play several instruments. I did not teach them at all. My sons picked up the same thing because guess what? They didn't have access to keep their minds constantly occupied with having something right there where they can go, and it keeps on feeding them. Because what people, y'all might know this, when you get into things like this and phones, different type of entertainment, there's few things out there in the world that can stimulate both hemispheres of the brain at the same time. Music is one of them. And that's why in most videos that people are entertained by, it has to have some music by. Who in here knows ABCs? And I bet you everybody in the whole nation sings the same exact tune. So what I'm saying, so why do they implement music into educating us as well? So what I'm saying therefore is this. It's called entertainment. It's called television. Entertainment is something that's entering. Television is telling you how to vision. It's stimulating both hemispheres of the brain. And the more you stay in your phone and you get those laughs, laughter releases dopamine. It releases serotonin. Those are the pleasure centers of the brain. And that's also something that the brain will fiend for. You don't even have to do drugs no more. All you can do is have this. Have TikTok running all day long. Have Instagram. Have some funny. Have dancing. Have twerking. All that stuff constantly keeps you in the phone. So then your world becomes this virtual reality, which is not the real world. And that's why they have, I mean, like I said, in medicine, they just banking off of it because now people are having the most bipolarism, anti-socialism, anxiety. All these different things are just exploding right now. And it's all because of something as simple as having what they say is a phone, which is nothing more than a handheld computer that's constantly keeping them entertained.
And you know what's so funny is my daughter, I study AI, and I'm like, boy, if we as Black people knew about AI, we would think differently about the way we're going about things. But my daughter told me that on TikTok and some of these other apps, that they can actually hear how you respond to certain things that you see. So if you're laughing or you don't really give a response, the things that you give I guess a favorable response, they'll put those into your algorithm. I was like, that is crazy. But
Yeah.
people don't know that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's so important to just be protective, because a lot of times they download these apps, and I'm weird. Like I'm one of those people that if I got like a simple camera, I'm the person that reads the manual and all of that. I know I can sit there and work, but I read the manual. So a lot of these apps that people are downloading, they don't even read the fine print in the terms and conditions where it says, by you accepting this app right here, you are allowing us to look at all your contacts. You allowing us to use all your pictures. You're allowing us to actually record you should we press a button and want to see what your face is doing while you're watching this particular type of video. And Google, which they're not putting out there in mainstream media, Google actually got sued over doing that exact thing when they weren't supposed to. They were spying on your responses to things that you saw. They were spying on your response to things that you saw, like on Instagram or whatever like that, so they can recommend that more to you, because the more they keep you engaged and entertained, the more you don't have the ability to actually critically think. That's the whole purpose. We don't want no generation of society of people that are thinkers. We just want people that follow what we say and do what we say. That's why if you even go against anything, what we call the woke agenda right now, people say, who are you to tell me that I can't? Or you try to tell them, give me an example of what you mean by that. They lose it. They'll start calling you names and all kinds of stuff, and all you did was say, well, give me an example. I am a woman, and I was born in the wrong body because they said that it was found in the gene. Give me an example. They freak out because they can't. All they've been doing is taught to just rinse and repeat what you've been indoctrinated to do without having to get no factual evidence at all. And that's why I'm saying critical thinking, I challenge all of it, and they hate it.
That AI stuff, that is, let me tell you something. When they start building these new bodies and so forth and so on, that is what the demons are going to inhabit. The demons already inhabit AI. I've seen some things that have absolutely freaked me out. Like there was a conversation that Musk was having with a bot, an AI bot, and man, like I said, predictive programming. You don't think these movies about the robot taking over and AI and all that, they're getting your mind ready for that. Real talk. Y'all know I'm not crazy. But if you get to look behind the curtain, you'll see some real scary stuff.
Most people are already ready for it. I mean, you can make an argument that a lot of people prefer AI and artificial intelligence, artificial beauty. When I look at a beautiful young lady, I go to the page, duck lips, filter, makeup, all artificial. When you see dudes, hey man, recovering Democrat, let me hold some money. Artificial clout, right? Here, let me wear a chain, artificial. And then you see them in real life, they don't got a car, you know what I mean? And in terms of AI, right now, if I ask somebody, what's 5,000 times 400? You'll have to think about it. If I grab a calculator, I already know the answer. Artificial intelligence. People be like, hey, Alexa, play this song for me. Artificial, you know what I mean? They prefer it in a lot of senses. And even I'm from an era where people used to write birthday cards and send it to you. Now people just text you. You know what I mean? Using artificial emotions, digital emotions. And they even have, I talked to some brothers too, some very smart and well-to-do brothers. And of course, this wasn't all of them, but some of them was considering going AI and I'm not recommending this. I'm just saying this anecdote. Some people was recommending AI for a spouse because they say, hey, no diseases. They ain't gonna complain about my height or my performance. And I've heard men and women say this, you know. They got these robotic dolls that do anything. You say something, it doesn't talk back. You can program it to do dances, wash dishes, perform in the bedroom. And you know, the no disease is what was a good perk that a lot of people said, you know. So I'm not advocating for that. I think we need to appreciate humanity more. But there are a contingent of people that are like, hey, let's go with AI. You know what I mean? Because like MRM was saying, and that in the reality, the real world, people are probably just mediocre at best, if that. In the virtual world, the possibilities are endless. You can be, if you wasn't a thug before, you was a nerd, but you can hop online and talk tough and maybe flash a fake gun and do some stuff. Now, you Tony Montana, so you can become, red pill or a manosphere guru in the virtual reality, and then in reality you was an incel. So some people do prefer the state of delusion in this virtual reality AI type of bubble, kind of perpetual metaverse, you know what I mean?
Well, sounds like to me that whole contract with the AI robot with the skin, that sounds like it's written on the opposite side of the contract that was written to tell you that no, you see, you are gender dysphobic. That's what you are. Because the end result, once you get to it, as the doctor said, when it comes down to the end, you're gonna realize you made a great mistake.
I mean, yeah, and we got about 8 minutes here. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all my opinion because I like to hear everybody's opinion first. So taking it back to the photos, yeah, I believe there's an agenda, but we already know that, right? We're talking about the photos of Jonathan Majors and Rihanna. I'm not sure about that one. That one, I'm kind of the jury's kind of out on that one for me. I guess I didn't really look too much into it as far as ASAP Rocky holding the baby and being behind her. I don't know, but yeah, the one with Jonathan Majors, that does make me raise an eyebrow, but we already know that agenda has been around for a very long time. But it's like, this is the problem I have with all of that is we know the agenda has been around. Why do we keep falling for it? That's why I ask, can clothes make you switch? If you're a man, can clothes make you switch? But we know that there's an agenda out there, but why do we keep falling prey to the agenda? If we know the agenda is on television, I don't watch TV. If I do, it's maybe Netflix or YouTube or something like that. I don't have cable. But if every time I'm turning on the TV, I'm seeing an agenda, then why do I want to keep watching that? And then why do I keep having my children in front of that? And like MRM said, he didn't send his kids to school and they taught him that stuff because he was very demonstrative. Do not teach my children that. I'll tell y'all the story about my daughter in the 5th grade, and the teacher in their history book, first paragraph, talk about, the slave masters was nice to their slaves. And on Sundays, they even gave them a day off and gave them good food. I was like, yo, my daughter don't know this version of slavery. Don't teach her that. And she did not. So it's like, a lot of times parents send their children to school and you don't have any earthly idea as to what they're learning, none of that stuff. So yeah, we know there's an agenda out there. And like y'all know, I was born into the Nation of Islam. I didn't have a father and a mother that bit their tongues. So they were very, all the stuff we know are talking about now, I knew that back then. And I didn't have a father that was like, well, yeah, I'll give y'all a perfect story. One of my nephews, he was trying to be what you call grunge, if you will. And he had his fingernails painted black. So my father came down and they were fixing the lawnmower, and my father saw the nails and he was like, what is you, a homosexual? And my nephew was like, oh my God, no. He was like, get in there and take that off right now. We ain't putting up with that. And he did. So all I'm saying is, my father wasn't one of those, okay, I gotta be politically correct. I gotta figure out a way. He was like, nah, hell to the no. I fight everybody that got something to say to me about what I said. So that's how I grew up. But I know we live in a day and age that if you say something, and people want to argue, down, oh, well, that's not right. We're living in a... It's like, well, in my house, I'm going to teach my children this. I don't care what you teach your children. And if you teach your children something that's in direct opposition to mine, guess what? My children cannot hang out with your children. I've had to have that conversations with some of my daughter's friends. One time she had a girl come over and I was outside on the porch and they didn't know I could hear the conversation. I think they were like 5th grade and the little girl was talking about condoms and, having sex. And I was like, oh, yeah. This is going to be your last time coming up over here. And it was, I wasn't like, well, maybe she grew up in a different environment. You can't be in my environment because I don't want while my daughter's not a stranger to those things, I don't want that to be her 10-year-old, or whatever conversation. So we have control over the agenda and the narratives permeating us and our children. See, we know the truth. And y'all know I hold this book up a lot. A Message to the Black Man in America and Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He was spot on with a lot of things. The black man is the most sought after man in the world. Case in point, they didn't go get people from Europe. They went and got Africans, the most dominant people in the world, and we are still that. We are descendants of pyramid builders. So why do we keep falling prey to this propaganda? We know the propaganda is never, ever going to go nowhere. In fact, it's getting worse because we keep falling prey to it. You know what I mean? So JD Informer and Passport people, I see you on here, but we ain't talking about mathematics right now. JD Informer, let me see your face. Until he shows me his face, anybody else got anything else to say before we get on out of here?
Yeah, what I'll just say. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, we were raised a different way. And my mother had very strong words about my sexuality and the things that would happen to me if I came home that way. So, yeah. What they used to say, I brought you in. You know the rest of that. So I think there's been a real failure and also artificial restrictions put on parents in terms of the way that they raise their children. And I know that can be frustrating, but you guys sound like you turned out some pretty good children. That's just what it sounds like to me.
Yeah, I'll just add to that. I mean, I just say the biggest thing is that, man, big time on educating folks. I mean, like I said, I still go to the library because you can't, if you Google everything, Google gonna put you and they're gonna put up what it wants you to see. You go to the library, you're gonna find books way back from the 1800s, whatever like that still got real truth in it. So, for example, and I'll leave y'all with this. Let's say, for example, this is how they play the game and how they abuse things. We all know about that disease called AIDS, right? Everybody knows it. Do y'all know it was called that? You know what it's called before it was AIDS? It was called GRIDS, GRIDS. That stood for Gay-Related Immunodeficiency Syndrome. They changed that whole definition of why, so the medical world can bank off that. Because guess what? If you tell people, oh, what is this disease called? Oh, it's called Gay-Related Immunodeficiency Syndrome. Oh, so if people stop being gay, there won't be no more disease, right? Hold on. Let's change that definition up now. Let's call it AIDS. Because if you can call it AIDS, that means you can continue on doing that type of lifestyle, which means we can treat it medicinally. You see what I'm saying? This is what folks don't want to hear, though. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Continue to profess that you are something that you're not. It does not matter because the medical world is going to accept you so we can bank off of you and your sickness. In Illinois, where I live right now, it used to be, did y'all know in Illinois, it was a crime. If you have AIDS, if you plan on dating, etc., you had to disclose to your possible boyfriend or girlfriend that you have AIDS. Illinois took that away. They completely got rid of it. Just this last year, they got rid of it. We say AIDS, HIV affects what community the most? Blacks. Ooh, how can we get rid of them injuries? Hey, guess what? You don't have to disclose to your partner whether you have AIDS or not anymore. Ding, ding, ding. Who's going to be affected by that the most? The blacks are. See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. And when it comes down to it, keep it the truth in your house. I hate to say this. I do a lot of work outside this house with young people and all this, but the change is going to come from your kingdom, which is your home, period. That is going to be the answer. I've done this for years. Going out, I go and speak at a lot of different places, but I know for a fact, despite of what I do, the change is going to come by me actually training parents to be parents to the kids they're going to have in the future or to the kids that they have right now. You have to be a parent. You don't have to be your child friend. You don't have to give your kids everything you didn't have. Your job is to make sure that your kids are going to grow up and not be exposed to a bunch of this nonsense. Keep things real, make things truthful. You are the parent. And once you do that, you don't have to worry about when they do and go and step out there in this cruel old world at all, because they've already been educated by you. It's not my job to send my child to school so the school can teach them. My job is to already have them taught and educated. So when they go to school, they can say, okay, Dad, what you were talking about, they did say this in school, and that's right. Oh, Dad, this is the mathematics that they showed us, and you showed us, okay, that is right. We have to make the change by what we do inside our home. It starts right there. The answer is the foundation of home. And here's the thing. Even if you build and make that strong foundation in the home, once your kids get out and about and do whatever they want to do, if they do something that's out of pocket and it comes crashing down, guess what they still have left there? That foundation that you set.
Hey, you know what? I co-sign that, and I also want to, just before we get out of here, say, with that, I guess states and Pam is saying California did that too, took away, I guess, people having to disclose. But y'all know what we say over here: who gonna love you more than you love you? Like common sense would tell you, stop laying down with people and you don't know nothing about them. You know, there's still that thing going. Hey, listen, you look good, I look good, but let's go get a test. You know what I mean? Let's go see if we are gonna not harm each other when we're gonna do that thing, right? So yeah, they took that away, but I went to dental assisting school. I graduated. I never worked as a dental assistant, but one thing they did tell us is you got to treat that as if everybody has it.
Yes.
Treat it as a universal disease. Nobody, don't assume that, nobody, they look good, they clean, because those probably be the ones, right? So, protect yourself.
I'll leave this as the last thing I promise I'll say right here.
Go ahead.
If we did this little thing that's silly, that's called a lullaby, and all y'all heard it, but if we did this right here, it would solve everything. It said, first come love, then came marriage, then came you with the baby carrier. So that means the sex didn't happen until after that. The kids didn't come until after that. That's it right there. I promise that's the answer. That's it.
You hit the nail on the head there. I love and appreciate every last one of y'all for coming on here, and everybody in the comment section. Thank you for everything that you have done to contribute to this conversation. And fellas, you guys are more than welcome to come on anytime. And MRM, I'm going to go follow your page. You guys, please follow his page, Modern Renaissance Man. L Boogie Speaks to show. He's got a great show as well. Follow him. Follow Donovan. And anybody else, you guys have a channel y'all want us to follow, please put in the link. We would love to do that. But in the meantime, we're going to get out of here and let everybody enjoy the rest of their Sunday evening. You guys be well. Peace.